check, check. 1, 2, 3. Everything's looking well. All right, let's begin. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday is a book that I didn't read but listened to. It was during Audible. It's been about a finished this coming back to Milwaukee, returning from the Milwaukee VA. Um, and it was kind of interesting. Ego is the Enemy, and the actual title and the cover of the book, a sculpture with no head. We tended most people who kind of wanted a statue of themselves were what, self-centered, I guess. Being famous, well off, but that kind of it contributes to someone's ego. And I mean, Ryan Holiday, he actually did for this book an Audible. He read it himself, and he kind of highlights himself having his ego kind of bite him, and how he takes it, how he kind of not took it for granted, but how he took the time to understand it, to develop his ego into something much lesser, much controllable, and kind of shared this kind of attribute. I mean, if you don't know Ryan Holiday, he's a well-off man. I can't remember if he dropped out of college, but he took a lot of risks, became very successful at what he was doing. I think it was I think like an agent, I believe, and then he owned his own business, became wealthy by the mid-20s. Tough things to do. And when we start getting this fame and wealth and self-centered thinking, our ego becomes so great, and kind of that expression goes, our head is bigger than our body, because our minds keep thinking that we're so much better than everyone else, and we kind of see that in our society. So with that kind of being said, I'm going to start getting into it. Not going to explain the book, but why, if you suffer from this kind of aspect, why you should read this book. It kind of explains, with success comes a temptation to tell one story. Ryan Holiday had a success, and ourselves are going to have successful moments too. But instead of, let's say, bragging about them, getting to the fact of always bringing it up, that is throwing a picture to someone listening to yourself that, hey, man, this guy is a little bit over his head. He only thinks about himself. And we shouldn't let that aspect happen. And then, yes, look, another example right here, above my head, kind of like a little awards of things that I kind of completed. For myself, yeah, it's a good moment. Success came from myself, from the Army, from college, from high school. But I don't let these success define me. The more that I look at it and think about the journey and the experiences and the details I learned from this experience that kind of taught me and shaped me who I am, that's what I kind of look upon and have those above my head. So with success comes with to yourself, how do I control it so that I'm not conceited of myself, I'm not narcotic, I guess. Going to our second point, someone who suffers from an illusion that you're special. Me being a little bit younger, I'm not gonna lie, I had the aspect that everyone was looking at me and everyone was judging me. Everyone was having these ideas labeling at me, and I disliked it. But the thing is, once I started understanding that no one is talking about myself, no one is thinking badly about me. No, I mean, maybe there is, but not everyone is thinking about you. Not everyone is checking you out. Not everyone is doing this aspect of you. That is your ego kind of not creating, but setting an illusion for yourself. And this could be a huge aspect on what can limit your possibilities, because we're going to be always thinking about this. This is always going to be in the back of our mind. And this self-centered thinking is going to get rid of your enjoyment of your life, because it's always going to be a hassle. So, I mean, let's say people that have this attribute of themselves, check out Ego's Enemy. We go to our next point. People that are desire to seek approval and validation. Yes, where I thought it was an example. My parents, man, they want me to go to college. They want me to graduate. But that's kind of our ego getting in the way of, man, I don't want to do that. But we want to seek approval and validation to look good. Man, I gotta be a doctor just to gain the respect. Oh, I gotta get that new house. I gotta get that car. I gotta get that trophy wife. You're starting to seek approval and validation, which is harming yourself, and you're truly not. You're letting yourself get away from who you are. Going to the next topic of kind of controlling it, your ego. Always be a student. We have a lot of individuals who excel in many aspects. So how about if you take your excelment, instead of bragging about it, instead of making others feel shameful they can't do it, why don't you teach someone something new that you excel in? Imagine the possibilities of that. You're gonna always teaching and being a student come together, because when you're teaching, you yourself are being kind of lesser. You're trying to get into their footsteps, make them feel important. You're not self-centered thinking. Gato, can you please lower it for a minute? And while you're being the student, you're not thinking about your aspects, but you're thinking about the person who is teaching you. You're always learning. You're being humble. You're being grateful that someone else has taken the time to teach you, which it reduces your ego and makes you a better person. Because in the matter of fact, your ego corrupts you to the fact that you become a horrible person. We go to the next point. Play the long game and serve others. And I've been reading books, and many have been explaining the same aspect. When you serve others, you are becoming more happier. Your ego is not in the way. The self-centered thinking is not there. You are in a state of mind where you know that you see the bigger picture, and you become more, like I'm going to keep saying this again, humble, grateful. You're becoming a person who is not thinking of themselves, but thinking of others, which reduces your ego. We don't have a lot of aspects of in this world. They're out there of helping others, but we ourselves, we catch this glimpse of ourselves, like, nah, we don't need to do that. Why? But it's helping us in the long run. And we kind of, maybe we don't do this stuff because what? Maybe we're labeling ourselves. And then for the bulletin, your pride can limit your progress, your progressive thinking, your progressive life. We all come to this conclusion. I'm a famous star. I'm a celebrity. I'm labeling myself and defining myself a college grad student. I mean, these labels mean a lot to ourselves, but when we stop and think like, oh, this is me in a nutshell, no, it's not. You are creating an illusion for yourself. I mean, maybe you are a college grad student, but instead of labeling yourself as a college grad student, that's always going to be reducing what you can reach next. Maybe like, I finished kind of college, man. I'm out there, man. I'm working with these blue collar jobs. I didn't go to school. I'm so much more educated. I'm so much more smarter than them. I got more money than them because I'm doing this. No, as a matter of fact, you're not. You become an asshole because you're thinking and labeling yourself. You're identifying yourself in things that no one really knows. You're portraying. You're drawing yourself higher than anyone else, even in the room. So, kind of to go over all these aspects. If you're a person, or if you're not a person, maybe you know a person who's kind of like this aspect, share with them the aspects of the ego as the enemy. Because we imagine the world, actually it won't be impossible. Imagine yourself controlling your ego. Imagine the possibilities you can achieve. Imagine the better person you could be for your friends and family. Imagine the amount of happiness, reducing of stress you can have when you control this ego. So this being said, solid book. I would like to listen to it again. It was pretty lengthy, but Ryan Holiday explained himself, his situation, explains in more detail, past history about it, about ego, and what it could do for yourself, how it can corrupt yourself, how it can be your enemy, how it could be also your savior. With that being said, guys, check out Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Well book. I'm glad I added to my list. And I hope these kind of aspects kind of shape who you are, because I like writing this stuff down to remind me of myself of what a better person I could become from these books. So with that being said, guys, doses.